is up, everybody? It's your boy Flash from ALWT Gaming, aka Malachi36. I'm here with a couple of my gaming homies, you know what I mean? Starting off from the bottom with the purple background, looking all Gotham Knightish, is my homeboy, Mil Dewey Carrot. How you doing today, good sir?
Doing good, can't complain. Living the best life I can.
The best life you can. That's all you gotta ask for, you know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta pick up that Heineke. Sometimes you gotta go ahead and pick up a little bit of Red Bull, mix that bad boys together, and you have yourself a Four Loko. You know what I mean? No?
What have you been doing?
I've been doing absolutely nothing there. It's Nine Ball. How you doing today, good sir?
Apparently not what you're doing.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's doing what he's doing, unless you're doing a raised energy drink, which I think he's done about 3 of those.
Yeah, and we're gonna do that little intro in a minute here. But this is All Things Gaming, episode 8, season 3. Here on March 14th, 2023 at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. But you guys are probably wondering, who is this other handsome fellow over here in the upper left corner of my screen? Who is this guy right here with the hoodie? Who is this guy with them the little twists? The twist in his hair? Ain't nobody other than Shaolinquis. How's it going, man?
Hey guys, what's up? Thanks for having me. Just ready to chop it up about some games, and have a little bit of fun. It's all good.
Absolutely. So what had happened is I was getting the show ready, just getting all the stories together and all that good stuff. And I was like, you know what? Bat Signal. Who can we bring on as a special guest? I reached out to my boy Shaolinquis. He's like, Flash, you ain't said nothing but a word. Let me get my Batmobile so I could be there and bring justice to the league. You know what I mean? But
hey, somebody's got to bring justice. Let's do it.
Let's go. So for anyone that's listening or coming across you for the first time, tell the group a little bit about yourself. Who is Shaolinquis in a nutshell?
Me in a nutshell. Basically, I just love video games. I love anime, manga, movies, whatever you want to talk about. I'm kind of well versed in some of those things. You know what I'm saying? Like I know my knowledge. So I could go there with you. But like these gentlemen here have a great passion for video games. I love them. I don't think I'll ever grow out of them. So, I stream, I do reviews on movies, do reviews on games, anime, manga, all that's coming soon. So, yeah, I'm just one of the guys, chill, laid back, and I'm a joker, and I like to have fun. So that's me.
Here, all right. So a couple questions I do want to throw at you before we jump into the show proper. What would you say is I know that you had answered this question off stream, but I want people to hear it. What would you say? One is your top genre when it comes to video games. 2, what is your favorite video game of all time? And 3, what is the number one video game that you dislike the most, that you never want to play? Like you actually played it and just don't want to ever play it again.
Okay. My favorite video game genre is fighting games. That's just right off the bat where I grew up from. Started out with Street Fighter, then to Mortal Kombat, then to Tekken. Tekken was like the family video game that we all played. So, you sit around your uncles and cousins, stuff like that. Get your butt whooped in Tekken, and you grow to love it. So, the fighting game genre is my favorite. The favorite video game of all time.
Mm-hmm. This is the game of a lifetime experience. If you had to rate it, what would be your game of a lifetime? The game that made you a gamer. Those are two different questions, but one is like your game of a lifetime in general. That one.
Okay, game of a lifetime. Man, that's tough because again, I was born and raised off fighting games, but there was that we've all had that era where we played Kingdom Hearts 2, and that just I don't know. It's difficult because it's like Kingdom Hearts 2, and then than like Tekken, because it's just like it's between those two, and it's hard because like Tekken is just like the you got your hand up.
I'm just want to say it's really not a hard choice. You know what it is deep in your heart. And that's in the heart.
Okay, okay, so okay, wait, here we are now. Okay, so Tekken it just has that legacy. You know what I'm saying? Like starting from Tekken 1 all the way to now Tekken 8, which is not really out yet, but started from Tekken 1, just that legacy alone uh puts Tekken, in a grand standing, in my opinion. Like it puts it in a kind of like a Hall of Fame type of status. But then
Mhm.
you have two to where it was just a step above the first one, and it was just something about Kingdom Hearts 2 that just like captivated you, and just like I don't know, like you didn't skip the intro. Like you did, if you were a real fan of Kingdom Hearts, you did not skip that intro. If you skip that intro, like you had to just restart the game all over again just to feel like. But like I don't know, man.
Preach it. Preach it.
So I'll give you an out because they're two entirely different genres. I'm perfectly fine with having them both be your game of a lifetime.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Because if I would have picked one or the other, that the other side would have came after me. Yeah.
If it wasn't Kingdom Hearts, I would have left.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
So the game you said the game that I disliked the most.
Yeah, the game that you're just like, I'm never touching this ever again in my entire life.
We know which one is
I know.
Malachi's.
For me, I would say Marvel's Avengers.
Oh wow!
Ooh, wow!
Okay, and you know what? And I believe that though because of how much of a Marvel fan you are.
It pained me, man. Like
Yeah.
I bought that game day one, and I bought the deluxe edition, and just man. Well, actually, actually now that I think about it,
There's one that beats out that.
yes, Jump Force.
Oh really?
I can see it.
I can't.
Whoa. Hold on. And the reason why I say Jump Force is because, well, it's both Marvel's Avengers and Jump Force. Like I can't choose between the two. Cause like so with Jump Force, dude, you have to realize I paid $100
Mm-hmm.
for
Ooh.
that game.
Yeah.
I bought deluxe, which was at $100, and for that game to underperform like that and not really captivate me in that type of way that you think from a Shonen Jump game to have all these characters,
Mm-hmm.
that highly disappointed me. And just and I think it was just the developer too. Like the Spike Chunsoft was just not really um a great developer when it comes to like games. Like don't get me wrong, some sandbox games are fun, but it was just the same. It was just the same copy and paste game that they usually make. And then with Marvel's Avengers, that's just self-explanatory. Live service game, uh, copy and paste the sloppily made outfits. Spider-Man was not really
Spider-Man was
Spider-Man.
trash. Yeah, that was Spider-Man was
Yeah,
absolutely.
Spider-Man was trash. The traversal was trash.
Hey, that was the best
But
Spider-Man that intern could make.
Leave him alone. He did his
like,
best.
like
It
Spider-Man
was
is
his
like
first day on the
hero.
job.
Yeah, and then like he didn't even have his own story. It was just like a cutscene, and that was pretty much it for his missions. And then the worst thing of all, I think,
Sounds like the
I mean,
Avengers
live
movie.
service too, but it came to a point where I couldn't even start up. I couldn't even boot up the game. Like it would just like
Ugh.
freeze like when it's like it was like at the loading screen, it would just freeze, and
Oh
I
wow.
couldn't hold it. So I was just like, you know what, I'm deleting this game. Like this is I'm uninstalling it. It's never coming back.
That is crazy.
And the crazy part about it is the company that made it.
Yeah.
All right, Square Enix. It was Montreal, I think it was. No, it wasn't Eidos. It was Crystal. No, it was
It's dynamic.
Square Enix, but Crystal Dynamics under Square Enix at the time. Now Crystal Dynamics is under Embracer Group.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well, yeah, no, I mean, yeah, thank you very much for sharing. I am very shocked that, I mean, because, again, for me, now, obviously, you have a different experience with it than I do, but Jump Force, for me, like, I thought the combat on that was super fun. It just wasn't balanced. So if you go against people that purposely try to be cheap or whatever, then it can be not fun. Story wasn't great, but I never expect stories to be great in fighting games at all. But I thought the concept of you being able to create your character, like the characters as you were fighting with them, felt really good to me. The only issue that I had with Jump Force was the fact that all three characters shared one life bar. I don't. Yeah, I hate.
Sense.
So what?
I mean, they couldn't do it like Marvel vs. Capcom, where it's like.
Yeah, they could have done it like that. Because you can set it to where there's no timer. So if there's no timer, then why not just have all three of them have their own individual health bars and stuff like that versus everyone's just sharing one life. That was the issue that I had with Jump Force. Aside from that, I actually liked Jump Force quite a bit. And also,
I remember playing it with you at
E3. Yeah,
at E3. And at the time, it definitely seemed like, oh, this might be really fun. But then I feel like it's like one of those games like we've kind of had recently where it's like, oh, this looks really good, and like beginnings of some beta testing, and then it's just at launch you're like, what happened?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, because I remember that. Like, I remember when we were at E3, it was me and either Just Deep or Barely Leave. It was one of us that was fighting. I think I was fighting Barely Leave because actually, you know what? No. I fought Barely Leave on the My Hero Academia game. It was Just Deep I was fighting. But I remember Sasuke just using his sword technique. It was cutting through like butter, and I never felt like a game. A sword style or a game that has a sword style that was like Sasuke's that was in the game, and I was like, man, this just feels so clean, so crisp. And then the fact that later on I was able to play with Super Saiyan Goku, Super Saiyan Vegeta, like all that felt super cool to me. And the animations were like when you pulled off your special abilities, that was beautiful. That was like some Gatorade get hype moments right there. But as far as like again the actual hub of it when you're not fighting, when you're running around the city, I'm not really the biggest fan of that, the way that was set up. The gameplay, I mean not the gameplay, but the actual storyline. You guys know me. I'm a huge fan of when it comes down to actual story content. It didn't make sense to me because it was just kind of all over the place. It was just a thrown in story, so that wasn't good. And then the fact that they only had one life bar between the three characters, that was something that annoyed me too.
They all shared the life bar.
They did. And honestly, even not aside from Jump Force, that never made sense to me in any fighting game. It never ever did. I'm just, unless they're like an actual lore as to why they're sharing the same life bar. Like one that might be the ghost and the other one might be the host. Like I don't know. It's just one of those things where it never made sense to me ever to only have one life bar when you're in a fighting game.
I will say in Street Fighter Cross Tekken, they also did I lied because they had a mechanic to where I got confused. They didn't share one life bar. Because if you defeat one of your partners, then the match ended.
Mm.
But they also had a mechanic to where like it was called a Pandora mechanic to where you can gain a lot of power in exchange for your partner's life or whatever. So like you'll sacrifice your partner and then you'll get all this. You get a huge power up for your character.
Yeah.
But I will say in terms of story wise in fighting games, I will say Tekken has a pretty good story.
Heard that. Yeah, and that is one thing though, is that like unless you're following Tekken from like at least from the third one. I really want to say the first one, but if you're not following tech at least from the third one, then the story will get away from you. It's not going to make a lot of sense because you're not going to know who's part of the faction, who's part of the like who's underneath, like why Jin is like the new head and stuff like that. Like none of that's going to make sense to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're totally right about that.
Yeah. But yes, thank you very much again for that, Shaolinquis. Once again, we gather here every single Tuesday, talk about video game news, updates, everything that we like about video games, and all that good stuff. We also are anime enthusiasts. Well, we don't have an anime segment currently, but that will be coming back soon. Back at it like a bad habit. But you guys also might be aware that what we do is a fantasy gaming league, which we're going to talk about a little bit today. Every single for the year. We all get together. We all pick our games that we think is going to score highly, and then anyone that scores the highest out of everyone at the end of the year wins the league. It's very similar to fantasy football, but instead of going against one person at a time weekly, you're against everyone annually, and it's on a 100-point scale with 70 points being the threshold. Anything that scores above 70 points on the Metacritic gains you points. Anything below loses you points, and then anything that's right at 70 neither gains nor loses. And then there's also one last thing out there called counter picks, which we threw in there to try to kind of help mess up your opponent there. So if I counter pick a game that's on Mildewy Carrot's list and it does poorly, then not only does he lose those points, but I leech those points off of his poor scores. And then vice versa. If he comes out and does great, though, then he gains the points like he normally would, but I would actually be suffering the benefit of that, or the penalty of that. But then there's also a thing out there to where if the game gets delayed until the next year, then it messes them up because they won't be able to drop that game for another game. So, without further ado, this is what the list is looking like right now. In first place, we have Mildewy Carrot. Second place, we have Silent. Third place, we have ALWT Live. Fourth place, we have... Oh, wait. Yes, fourth place, we have Dr. Keys, a.k.a. Shaolinquis. Fifth place, we have It's the Nine Ball. Sixth place, we have ALWT Gaming. Seventh place is Ohio. And last place currently right now is Gravity Mark II. This is what each game is looking like right now. Zaka Corp, a.k.a. It's the Nine Ball, has on his list Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which is pending. Wolong Fallen Dynasty got him 12 points. I got an 82 on Metacritic. Redfall, pending. Wolf Among Us, 0 points. This is not good because it's not coming out this year. The Plucky Squire, pending. Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. Warhammer 40k, Space Marine 2. System Shock, Tekken 8. All those are pending. He has an open spot still. And then he has a counter pick of Sons of the Forest. So right now, he has 12 points for his overall. ALWT Gaming, a.k.a. me. I have Final Fantasy 16, Street Fighter 6, Hades 2, Forza Motorsport, Xbox Series X version, Oxenfree 2, Lost Signals, Eater Knights, Stellar Blade, Power World, and Remnant 2. Those are all pending. The game that released for me was Horizon Call of the Mountain, which got me 10 points, 80 on Metacritic, and I have a counter pick of Black Myth Wukong, which is not coming out this year. Third place is Illuminatus Living, a.k.a. ALWT Live. He has Resident Evil 4 Remake, Hollow Knight, Silk Song, Sea of Stars. Those are all pending. He has 2 games that dropped so far this year, which is Octopath Traveler 2, which got him 14 points, 84 on Metacritic. Like a Dragon Ishin, 11 points, 81 on Metacritic. And he has 5 open spots. He has a counter pick of Wolf Among Us 2, which is confirmed, not coming out this year. Next up is Titan Brain Go Punch, a.k.a. Silent, who has Fire Emblem Engage, which got him 11 points, 81 on Metacritic. He has Theater Rhythm, Final Bar Line, 16 points, which is 86 on Metacritic. And then the rest are pending, which is Liza P, Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon, Pikmin 4, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Metro Prime 4, Dragon Age Dreadwolf. He has 2 open spots, and he has a counter pick of Bayonetta, Cereza, and the Lost Demon, which is projected to get an 81 right now. So that's good news for you there, Dr. Q. That's bad news for Silent.
Yeah, I had a feeling that one might do something.
I honestly didn't think that was going to do anything.
I agree 100% with you there, Cam. I didn't know people would like it.
Yeah. Just because it's so different than the actual Bayonetta itself.
And that's what I think. That's what my concern was, just because it's such an offset to the original Bayonetta. like it feels almost JRPG-ish, to which I'm like, that kind of screams out to people. I feel like there's going to be a good group getting in it because you don't need to know the Bayonetta stories beforehand to play this one because this is technically the
The
prequel
origins, yeah.
to that. So it's like that one's a
Yeah, so this one's, I mean, obviously it's going strictly off of reviews, like the people that's reviewing the game before it even comes out for the most part. But it is one of those things where it's just like, this is such inside the same vein as Chocobo GP to me, which Chocobo in general, Chocobo GP, that's tied to the Final Fantasy universe. Most Final Fantasy games review very well or are really held in adored, but Chocobo GP just did not do well. That's what I thought this was going to be. I thought that Bayonetta, as well as it scores, I figured that Bayonetta and Cereza and the Lost Demon or whatever, I figured that was going to be something that's just not going to hit. But Dr. Q, so far right now it's pending that I've dodged a bullet. Carrot Patch Inc. is next up on here. Mildew Carrot has Hogwarts Legacy, got him 14 points, 84 on Metacritic. Wild Hearts got him 9 points, 89 on Metacritic. Company of Heroes 3 got 10 points, 80 on Metacritic. Those are all that have dropped for him so far. Then he has pending Marvel Spider-Man 2, Sons of the Forest, Advanced Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, Minecraft Legends, Terra Nil, Adelizer Ryza 3, Alchemist of the End, and The Secret Key. That is a long title.
We got to talk about these title names.
Yes, I mean, it literally is starting to become like an anime title. Like, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? That time I got reincarnated as a slime. You know what I mean? Like, it's starting to like take on that.
Hey, be thankful that that's the English name, okay?
I know, right? Yeah. He has an open spot, and he has a counter pick of One Piece Odyssey, which got a 74 on Metacritic, costing him 4 points.
I will gladly take that cost. I do have a question for you, though, Malika, because Sons of the Force is already out, but it's early access. I'm guessing it's not counting that.
Yeah, it's not. And that's exactly what it is. Yeah, it has to. All right,
and that's fine. I'm still going to put on there, represent and respect. 9-Ball curse you for counter picking it. How dare you disrespect?
No, don't give me. You know I bought it. Okay?
I know you bought it, but still, you dare disrespect it.
Okay, I bought it. Okay.
Next up is Dr. Q, a.k.a. Shaolinquis, a.k.a. Dr. Keys. He has Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which is pending. ALWT 2, which is pending. Dead Island 2, which is pending. And then he has Bayonetta Origins to Resident Lost Demon. That's pending, but it's trending at an 81 right now. And then the game that dropped for him is Dead Space Remake, which got him 19 points, 89 on Metacritic. He has 5 open spots in his counter pick of Forspoken, which got a 63, which gave him 3 extra points.
What I got to say about Resident Evil? I mean, Dead Space. I'll save that for later.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about that if we have some time at the end, because there's some things that came out about Dead Space, or not Dead Space, Dead Island. Gravitron is up next, aka Gravity Mark II. He has what's pending is Star Wars. Oh, poor Gravity, man. He has.
I know.
He's tree tried, guys. This is his first time.
It is. It's
gonna be his last time at this rate.
And this is Dr. Keys' first time. You know, like. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway,
you gotta learn how to pick them.
So on here he has Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is pending. Skull and Bones, which is pending. Black Myth Wukong is not coming out. Atomic Heart, which got him 4 points, 74 on Metacritic, but then he has The Forspoken, which lost him 3 points, 67 on Metacritic. He has 5 open spots, and he has a counter big of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. But here's the thing. That's actually as risky as a band that is, or a counter pick that is. It's actually a smart one, because unless I don't think that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is hitting in December.
It's not coming out.
I don't think it's coming out. It's coming out in this winter. I just don't think it's going to be this actual official winter. I think it's going to be like March of next year.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's not coming out this year at all.
Yeah,
you don't think it's coming out by December?
I don't think so, because December in video game terms is anywhere between November through March.
Let alone it already worked. Oh, sorry.
Well, that's the fourth quarter on that. The only thing that's making me think that it could come out in December, which is a very small sliver, is the fact that Final Fantasy Crisis Core Reunion, that they said this winter, and that came out last December.
Okay.
But also the opposite of that is that Reunion already existed. They just remastered it, had some new voice acting in there, and kind of changed up the battle system a little bit. So there's not really a ton more to do there, at least from outside looking in. There's not a lot to do there. As far as Rebirth, that's a brand new game from the ground up. Like,
right.
you can't just port over part of 7 original inside this game. And for all we know, Rebirth is not going to be the same experience that we had in 7 original anyway. So it's truly a brand new game that's from the ground up. However, they have been working on this since 7 Remake had dropped, which was in 2020. So they've been working on this already for 3 years.
Wait, when did that reveal happen? Was it 2020 or was it 2020
for Remake?
For Rebirth.
Rebirth happened literally this past year. Like,
that was 20.
Yeah, it was in 20. So Rebirth was at a Square Enix 25 year anniversary. It was in the middle of last year, and then they're like, "Hey, Reunion's coming out this winter." Everyone got stoked for that. Then they said Rebirth. That's what they ended with. They said Rebirth is going to be releasing in winter of 2023.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if it's coming winter 2023. And you said that it may come out next year, but like, so the dates aren't really set. They're just kind of like giving.
Yeah, it's a window.
Project.
Yeah, it's a window. But what they're saying is fourth quarter, and fourth quarter in video game terms is anywhere between November through March, pretty much.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just a weird. What's it called?
It goes off the fiscal year.
Fiscal year. That's what I was trying to say. It goes off their fiscal year. So their fiscal year ends in like February, March of the next year.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the saving grace right there for Gravitron, is that there's a good chance it's not truly launching in 2023. It'll likely be beginning portion of 2024, but you never know.
Saving grace.
Then lastly, we have Moga, aka Make Ohio Great Again, aka Ohio, who has One Piece Odyssey, which dropped, got him 4 points, 74 on Metacritic. The rest are pending at Diablo 4, Starfield, Assassin's Creed Mirage, and Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. And then he has 5 open spots and a kind of pick of Skull and Bones. 4 points is where it's sitting at right now. So there you have it. And before we finally officially get to start on with this with the topics and all that good stuff, I want to remind you guys that if you guys are feeling a little tired, you guys can go out there and get yourself a Raise Energy from Rep Sports, reppsports.com. Type in ALWT Gaming at checkout and get 15% off. That is what, Marquise?
15% off.
Yeah, 15% off ALWT Gaming at checkout. That's what you got to type in if you want to save that money and get that.
Okay, Marquise, we go through this every week.
That's right, guys. You type that in, get 50% off, and you can be like Malachi.
You know what? If you do that, I'll give you a personal shout out. You know what I mean? Just a personal shout out. Let's go.
Take a picture of yourself drinking that Raise Energy, send it on in, and we'll shout you out saying, "Look at this person."
Story number 1, which is PlayStation 5 Pro rumors. This is a very interesting one right here. Stephen Wright from GameSpot says this is an article. The PS5 has been out for less than 3 years, but a higher spec version may already be in development. A new report from Insider Gaming claims that the hypothetical PS5 Pro is already in the works and that Sony is targeting a late 2024 release window. Like the PS4 Pro, this PS5 Pro would have better specs than the base console, allowing for better visuals and performance. Alongside its own unnamed sources, the report cites a recent patent filed by PlayStation's console architect Mark Cerny that looks to boost the performance of ray tracing tech as possible reason for the PS5 Pro. It also claims that the next generation of PlayStation consoles, the PS6, will not release until at least 2028. The report itself notes that the logic of PS5 Pro is very much up for a debate, given recent chip shortages limiting supply of the console until recently. It's also unclear to what extent developers have pushed the limits of the existing PS5 hardware, as most PS5 games released on PS4 as well. End quote, end story. So I want to start off with you guys. We had this conversation before, and I know that beforehand we had said, does it make sense to have a PS5 Pro? Do we need a PS5 Pro? What all are they going to do? And I've heard Mildewy Carrot's thoughts about it. I heard It's Nineball's thoughts about it. I want to start off with you there, Shaolinquis. What do you think? What do you think about this story in general? Does a PS5 Pro interest you at all? Do you think that there's a reason or a need for a PS5 Pro in this space? And lastly, if so, what do you think is going to be consist of what the PS5 Pro is going to be in there?
I mean, looking back at it, how we've had the PS4 Pro. I think, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't the PS3 have it was the PS3 Slim?
That's slim versions of that.
So what would that count as, like a kind of like a pro type spec?
I don't remember if they respect it or not. I know they changed the shaping of it because there was a lot of complaints with like the curvature shape and all that people were just having problems with, so they made a slimmer version. But do you remember if they changed the specs on that?
For the PlayStation
3 Slim?
PlayStation 3 Slim, no. But they had a PlayStation 4 Pro.
Yeah. They had a PS4 Pro. Back to the PS3, like they had the big bulky one. Then they had one that was the one that I have was like the second gen of that. Then they came out with the PS3 Slim, and then that's all I really know. I don't think that they actually had any upgraded specs in the actual like guts of it. I think it was just literally just sizing. Maybe on the one I had it was a little different. But I don't think that there's anything brand like new inside the PS3 Slim or anything like that.
Gotcha.
I'm looking it up right now. Looks like the only difference might have been storage and slight differentials between GPU and CPU processors. But other than that, it doesn't really look like too much heavy change.
Okay. But I mean, so personally, me, I can see the PS5 Pro working, in the terms of more PS5s getting out to homes. We all know that there was a chip shortage and everything like that, so not a lot of people were able to have their hands on the PS5. Now with the PS5 Pro, supposedly dropping relatively soon, you'll have those people that kind of missed out on getting the original PS5. Now that the PS5 Pro and the PS5 are probably going to come out in tangent, maybe people will be able to get their hands on both of them. You know what I'm saying? So it's a best of both worlds. And then plus, like with the PS5 Pro, better specs. I heard a rumor that there might be a better built-in fan. I'm not really entirely sure about that. Yeah. I might be wrong. Hey, I apologize. I apologize, but I don't know. Just better specs, better graphics, better graphics engine, or whatever. Just overall, I mean, more sleeker, maybe more customization options for it. I mean, I might grab a Pro, but I mean, to be quite technical, if you have a PS5, now you got to question yourself, like, is there really a necessary? Is it really necessary to get a PS5 Pro when you already have the PS5? You know what I'm saying? Like, at this point, it's like kind of like being greedy a little bit.
I get you. I think, and I'll be real quick on this. I think that there's, I'm not sure if there's really like the reason why I'm not sure if there's really a need for a space for that is because right now PS5 wise, we haven't even pushed the PS5 of what it can potentially get to. You know what I mean? Like there's still a lot of games that came out for the PS4 as well, but as they said inside the article, kind of like showing that there's not really a need for the for that push and power as of yet. The most I've seen them do with the PS5 was that Matrix demo. That was the most that I've kind of seen them do, which that was incredible. That was incredible to me as far as like how a game can look. But again, we haven't got to that point yet. Like I think that after this year and like after this year is done, then at that point, if they start making things more specifically for next gen only, then at that point I can better assess it and be like, all right, yes, there's a need for this, or only if you just want to get like maybe faster. Like I don't know if there's a faster SSD that's out there or higher.
There are SSDs are like normal hard drives where they have write speeds.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, maybe that could be. Maybe you can get even a faster SSD now that they're only focused on. Go ahead.
You're not going to have SSDs in 5s. They actually got rid of them. They run
like
NVMe's now.
The Pros.
So they run NVMe's now. NVMe is actually replacing SSD in terms of read and write speeds because it's directly tagged into the motherboard. So it's a lot. Not only that, but just the compression rates and everything on it is just a lot better. So read and write speeds are pretty much outdoing SSDs. SSDs are kind of becoming like, at least especially in PCs, are kind of becoming almost legacy items in a way. So you're not going to see the 5 run an SSD. You're going to see mainly running it.
You're talking about the PS5 Pro, right? Because right now the PS5s do have the SSD.
Yeah, no, the PS5 have NVMe's in them.
Yeah, so the Pro is going to have NVMe's. It's not going to have an SSD. The only way you would have an SSD with any of the 5s or 5 Pro is if they did it as like a side, like an external drive. And that would be it. So you're mainly going to be running NVMe's. Now, the biggest thing is currently, because right now the current system has a 500 gigabyte NVMe. So the biggest thing, next step would be is one TB, 1 terabyte, or possibly 2, pending. I know there was some issues, at least with the first rounds, and them having to authorize certain like NVMe's that would work for it. So I don't know. Maybe they'll have better integration with NVMe's on the second one.
I heard that. Yeah. Other than like some stuff like that, and again, and you guys will have more knowledge on this than I do, but I'm not sure if you can actually get something like a 3090 inside of a PS5 or something like that.
Right now, y'all are at the equivalent. Most people are comparing it to a 2070.
Yeah.
Okay.
So currently, the most powerfulest graphics card is a 4090.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
which have you seen those things? They're about the size of the PlayStation 4.
See, I haven't seen that. So yes, I wouldn't have.
No,
I was watching like Jay's 2 Cents, I believe, was showing them, and he compared it to a literal PlayStation 5.
Wow, that's crazy.
Unless you have like liquid cooling on that thing, it's literally a PlayStation 5 level of size.
That's crazy. Because I know that would be the other. I was going to say, I know that would be the other entry to a Pro, is that they do want to make it smaller, sleeker, and everything like that. So if a 4090 or a 3090, if that's going to be the size of a PS5, then
they're good.
Yeah, there's no need to have that in a Pro until maybe if they find a way to condense those.
Well, they would be running laptop versions then, possibly. If they're trying to condense stuff, laptop, higher-end laptops, and I don't remember which one is the current running laptop right now, would be the best bet because they're built slimmer, can fit in, and handle it. But, again, like I said, I don't know what they're going to be putting in. And the fact that they're talking about advancing ray tracing, which is like pretty much all GPUs nowadays that you're running, at least up and running, and current ones, should have ray tracing enabled capabilities on most of them. So I'm just kind of curious, like, what they're going to add in, because, like, as you know, Nimble said, like, you know, if these are something higher, like, one, that's an expensive GPU, guys. Like,
yeah,
that thing I think is running what, 2K, 3K.
I can look at it real fast. Let alone the power requirement is absolutely disgusting. Most of the time, one of the console's biggest feat or problems is basically the power supply. Most of them run around 400. I want to say 400 watts. Like I run, I think 1,000. I think I run 1,000.
Yeah, I want to say base for low builds is going to be around 450. Most mid builds, you're talking like a 750 watt power supply generator. I'm definitely running a 1000 watt. Now that's also not counting the fact I think I've got an 80 gold 1000. So there's different levels of those that we.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Here we go.
Other times.
The RTX is running at $1,600.
Okay.
16 for the 4090s.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, it wasn't as high as I thought. It normally has been, but I think they've gotten that bet down.
That's because they're starting to get competition. A lot of people are looking at the AMDs.
Yeah, no, AMD is. I run a full AMD. Mm-hmm.
It's running around 800, I want to say.
Yeah, AMDs. I love AMD. I run a full AMD rig, so a lot of that. Well, I was trying to go on. We got sidetracked there. Sorry, guys. Two techies. Like Nimo said, so the biggest thing is power supply, and these systems have had issues with heating in the past. We've seen that with the 4. You know, the 5 was built this way so it could have a better cooling tower in it. The main way you're going to get anything else bigger in there with that amount of power supply, so if you're going to put a bigger GPU in there to handle better ray tracing or not, be able to have the CPU in there handle that processing, RAM, and then not only the power supply to power that, you're going to need a coolant system. You're not going to be able to fan cool that at all anymore. And to be honest, that coolant systems, those things are not cheap either. Like I've installed a couple, like one already. And I say one because normally I just use the fan bases, but they've stopped doing those, which is like great, you know. So I remember the old days though with the whole glass tubes, pipings, and everything. You remember those rigs? Nightball looks like an aquarium on crack.
Liquid cooling has grown a lot actually.
Oh, I know. I've got some, but I was just like, you remember those old days when you got the rigs that look like it's like an aquarium of tubes?
Yeah.
Like,
I forgot who was just doing one. God, what's his face? Jay's 2 cents. I mean, the only bad thing is you about look like you got to be a plumber or something, because you got to deal with PVC pipes and stuff. And I don't, like I said before, water next to PC. Yeah.
Mm-mm. No, they've got some better ones that are.
They're a lot more reliable.
They're pretty much what they are. It's like it's just a long brick fan that you can attach to the top, 2 pipings, run down to the top CPU core coolant, you attach it on, and pretty much it just goes. And you just plug it in. So that's the simplistic one. There are more advanced ones that get it going and get it cooling faster and all. So like you can do overclocking and everything and keep everything cool. That is a no-go. But even just the basic one, like I said, it's a big one. Like it's a 3 brick fan with the cooling system in it that then ties into the CPU. Like if you already look how big these things are, like this thing is going to be bigger. You're talking like a PC tower size if you try and put any of these components in there to fully amp it up. So I'm very interested to see what they're going to do. And then the last thing is, my concern would be also is as you upgrade the tech, anytime you do that, as Nineball said, especially with the newer 4090s out there and all, it's pricey. So what is that going to do to the price? Right now it's like 500 for the base PS5. What's the Pro going to be? 600, 700, 800 to accommodate for that technology?
Honestly, since they came out with the PSVR 2 at $550, I'm not surprised that the Pro would be $600, $700.
Here goes the thing.
That's the concern is like if they're trying to get it out there to people, yes, it's got some better specs, but people are barely getting the 5s. One, because of the chip shortages. Like even though people are like, oh, it's no longer happy. I'm like, I've yet to see like full recovery, guys. Like, so we're still barely like, you know, we have 5 on the shelf, but then those will go, you know, by the time you get the next 10 in. And then like people have also been like kind of really holding off on money in terms of stuff like buying like extra expenditures and all this stuff because, you know, there a lot with the current situations in the world and everything, you know, with jobs and all that. A lot of people are probably just like, you know what, we're just going to sit tight.
Yeah.
So
inflation.
The cheaper version is going to be the better one right now. If they do anything with this new stuff, I'm hoping it's just putting it to building the 6s coming later. And if they are thinking about 5, don't do it now. Push it back a year or 2. Like, because I feel like trying to do a Pro now is not going to be a good thing. I'd say try and get as much 5s as you can out there, give it a year or 2, and then push a Pro out if you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
One problem is not so much, I don't think, the cost. And this is going to be something weird. And this is something I've brought up a lot. Consoles, people think consoles are cheap. They're cheaper than PCs. They're not. It's just one difference. The PlayStation and Xbox take a hit on the consoles because they remake that money back up on the software. Most of the time, the consoles cost a lot more than what they do. So most of the time, they take around 50, 100, sometimes even around 150, if need be, hits on these. That's the reason why they was both stalling. You remember in the beginning when they was revealing theirs, and they was both stalling their prices?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And really, it was how low can you go game they was playing. Because even though you can, even though the consoles may cost more, it's going to basically be eaten up by them if they can have more things, if they can have more software to sell on it. But the problem with the new console comes in when one of the issues, like with Milda we was talking about earlier, the other ones, they haven't sold enough PlayStation 5s alone. And you don't want to bog them down with a bunch of choices, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5 Pro. And number two, the cost, you can only eat so much. I mean, you don't want to take a $500 hit per console. You don't want to take a $400, $500, $600 hit. The more you take on a hit, yeah. And let's say it sells 20 million consoles, that's actually going to do more damage than help. While certain companies are big enough, i.e. like Microsoft, to where they can just eat the damage and not even wonder where the money's going. It's like pocket change. I'm not sure.
I think I had 10 in here.
For Sony, I know they don't want to eat that much. I know Sony will make up a lot of their money because Sony does such a good job on their game development with some of the best games to come out. I mean, you're looking at basically The Last of Us, which turned into a series, which is actually a really good series. So I've been watching it. It's been really good out of a series, actually. It's following it. Well, I haven't really played a lot of The Last of Us, but for somebody like me, I kind of held off when I heard the show was coming on. I was like, I don't want to spoil it. I want to see this and see how they do it. But key scenes are in there. They took liberties, and it really made a huge difference in the series. But even with that, when they're talking about that one, they're talking about other ones that they want to green light too. And this is just a testament to how good Sony is at their video game development. You know, you got that one. What was the movie that came out?
Uncharted.
Uncharted, thank you. I was thinking of Nathan Drake, but I couldn't think of the series. I've even heard rumors of a God of War.
Yeah, that's going to be on Amazon, and then Horizon's going to be on Netflix.
Okay. Yeah.
I've been hearing about those, and I'm like, I want to see. You know, they've been doing decently from what Nimble said. You know, so I haven't heard bad reviews, but I mean, they've got that. But just the thing with the consoles, though, is like Nimble said, you can only eat so much before.
Yeah, even with those on them, that's eating too much.
You know, it's not eating too much. Them Capcom boys. Story number 2. We're going on over here. Alexandra Hall from Kotaku says this in the article. Today, Capcom streamed a new Capcom Spotlight event on Twitch and YouTube. Stop it for a second. That was last week for anyone that's watching right now. It's not today. It was last week. While back to the story. While the cat was already out of the bag on its biggest news, a Resident Evil 4 demo, out today there is plenty more to see. If you like to watch it yourself, you can find the stream archived here, which again, you have to go to Kotaku for that. That said, here's everything that we saw in today's Capcom Spotlight stream. And starting off with the first one, we have the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. We have Street Fighter 6. We have, I don't know what Capcom Town and Capcom ID. I don't know what that is. Then we have Exoprimal, which that one they have revealed that there's going to be a beta demo that's going to be happening this.
Probably a beta.
Here it is. A 2-day open beta test will start on March 17th. That's what it says right here.
Mark your calendars, folks.
Yep. Mark your calendars. And a little tidbit out there. This is a little praise to the Xbox here. It's coming to major platforms, but except for Switch on July 14th, and will be on Xbox Game Pass day 1. So if you guys have Game Pass, you guys already have Exoprimal when that comes out. Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, and that's just the announcement of it coming to Xbox Series XS, PC, Windows, PS4, and PS5. Resident Evil Death Island CG movie, I guess.
What?
Yeah. The Resident Evil 4 Chainsaw demo. And that's what they ended off with. And then the part 2 of this is literally talking about the demo. So Zach Zweisen from Kotaku says it's an article. Today, during Capcom's latest online spotlight event, the publisher officially announced and released a demo for the upcoming Resident Evil 4 remake. This demo isn't super shocking news, as earlier today fans had spotted and reported seeing ads on Twitch for the then unannounced RE4 remake demo, seemingly spoiling the surprise Capcom had planned for today's event. And Capcom also told us back in February that it had plans to release a demo, but it didn't share any details at the time. The new demo out today takes place at the beginning of the game in iconic village ambush section. The demo is called Chainsaw Demo and is out today on PS4, PS5, Xbox Series XS, and PC. And no, that's no typo. Capcom is skipping Xbox One for this remake. Capcom confirmed that unlike some past Resident Evil demos, the new Chainsaw demo has no time limit and can be played as much as you want. I expect I'll be playing it a lot as I prepare to buy Resident Evil 4 all over again and again and again. So I want to take it on over to one of our, I'm pretty sure all three of you guys are really inside the RE universe, but I want to take it on over to you, Shaolinquis. As for someone that has played the demo and that is in the RE universe, what are your thoughts about all of this?
Demo is really fun. I love it. The way they updated the game a little bit from the original Resident Evil 4. I like the way the knife combat handles in the game. I'm not sure if you've seen past Resident Evil showcases. They show you that you can actually parry with the knife now. You can parry with the knife, but you also have to be careful too because your knife can get dull. So you have to be careful with your knife usage because your knife can get dull, and then that way you're not able to parry certain attacks. In the demo, you can do stealth attacks using your knife. You can kind of like do like you can stealth around certain enemies and stuff like that, so that way they don't see you. So you can get around more frequently than in the past Resident Evil 4, because we all know that game. The movement in that game was tough, but in this game the movement is more fluent. It's quite difficult too. I will say that I've died quite a couple times playing this demo, and to the point where I just had to, I had to, just take a break from it because, I don't. I'm gonna just take a break. But
you had to step back before you had to buy a new TV, is what you're talking about, right?
yeah. For I had to buy another controller, but all in all, this and also it has I'm not sure if you guys have seen or heard about it, but this demo also has a secret mode that you can play, and it has a couple of secrets in there that you can find too.
I did hear about that.
So this demo is just it's just just this Resident Evil remake is just a love letter to fans of the original, while also giving them something new. In my opinion, it has the best Resident Evil character in the game, Leon Kennedy. Love that guy. Love to see it.
I was gonna say Ashley.
But in this game it has Leon's famous kicks. It has it has the famous one-liners that he had in the original game. It's just a good a good remake and also something new that brings to the table in the Resident Evil franchise. I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes after this game comes out and after this game does pretty well.
Heard that. And then as far as my other two co-hosts in here, does this news do anything? Are you guys excited? You guys gonna check this out? Like, what does this news do for you as far as hearing about this at the Capcom event?
Oh, this is great. If you know anything about me, you know I absolutely love my horror games. I was livid when I heard Silent Hill 2 was coming out, and now I'm hearing Resident Evil. Plus the Dead Space. Have you seen the Dead Space remake?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, if their remakes are anything like that, or even like the remake of Resident Evil 2, you got it. I mean, as long as they do a couple things, okay? Silent Keys answered one question. They fixed the running gun. I do like that they dull the knife, so there's no knife challenges where he's just trying to knife everything. They gotta fix Ashley's AI.
No,
She's
it's
not
fine.
gonna run next to
It's
Ashley.
fine.
Was like, you died so many times trying to save Ashley.
Oh man.
Fine, leave her alone. She's doing
The
her
other
own
half,
thing.
like one half is awesome. The other half is just one big escort mission
Yeah.
with one of the dumbest characters. And the commercials already acknowledged the third part. The shopkeeper's coming back.
What are you buying?
What are you buying?
What do you need to survive?
What are you selling?
What about you there, Milton? You wouldn't jump in on this at all? Like, is this something that you want to like get lost in and experience?
I mean, I'm definitely excited for it coming out. It's definitely on my list. I'm not going to be jumping in as hard as Nine Ball and Shaolin might, but I'm definitely excited for it. I'm glad they're fixing all that stuff because that stop and gunning thing that ticked me and my bro TBF of this off when we especially were co-op playing it. Like it just so bad, so freaking bad. Like just it made like we almost had to replace our controllers. When we started doing that, but we made it through. We struggle bust through, but oh my god. I definitely like the dulling down the knife thing because you see so many videos of like just solo knife runs, and all this crap that people do. So this makes it more challenging for them to do that. Now it'd be nice if with the shopkeeper coming back, if you could buy whetstones or something, resharpen up the knife, but makes you think, oh, what am I using? So it's good though that they're remaking it, and I'm hoping what that does is one keeps the genre alive, for the oldies like us, to love it and play it again, play it better, and then also get newer blood in. We want to get the new blood in, get them playing it and enjoying the life and messed up world that is Resident Evil.
Heard that. All right. I did have two quick questions for Shaolin before we move on over to the next part of the story.
Okay.
My first question is the demo 2-player?
The demo is not 2-player. The demo is one party only.
Gotcha. All right. And then the combat, I know you said that you're able to move now a little bit. Does it feel like any way of like a Metal Gear Solid, like the newer ones?
Would you be talking about like Metal Gear Solid Rising Revengeance, or would you be talking
Rising? Yeah.
Okay, so it's been a while since I played Rising Revengeance. I would say it plays a lot better. It's kind of similar, like you still have that third person view of the character. I will say the shooting in this game is a lot better. So basically what it is, it takes what it did right with Resident Evil 2 remake, and it makes it even better. Resident Evil 2 remake was really good, but there was certain things I didn't really like about that game, so to speak. Like some of the movement in that game wasn't really that great to me. But in this demo, it just answered like a lot of questions that I had about it. Like like I said, the movement is great. I don't know. It just feels a little bit more fluid. Like, you know, the running, crouching, walking, looking around, quick turns, and everything like that. So you're not getting hit behind, and it's an easy quick turn button. I think you press down R1 to quick turn and everything like that, and then you can even press R1 to sprint. Now you press circle to crouch and crouch. Um, the combat system there. So the combat system, it depends. It depends on your kind of like on your shots, and then your knifing too. So in order for Leon to do his kicks, you have to stun the enemy. So you have to shoot either in the kneecap, you have to shoot either in the head or kneecap or whatever, and then the enemy will be stunned, and then you'll be able to do a kick or knife an enemy. Like you can definitely knife the enemy to death, but at the same time, you don't want to spend your time too much time, doing knife slashes because you have so many enemies coming at you at the same time. So you want to kind of be strategic in how you play. Also, you also want to save ammunition, of course, along with saving your knife for pairing reasons as well. So it's all. I feel like the combat is it's a lot of strategic, um, rather than just going in hacking and slashing. That's what I think the difference is with this game versus Rise and Revengeance, where you don't have to worry about like saving up bullets or worrying about your sword getting dull. Because in Metal Gear Solid Rising, you can just go in and just start hacking and slashing whatever you want. But in this game, you have to like actually think like, okay, is it a good time to run? Okay, I can shoot this zombie, stagger him, kick him, and there's a point like you can do it to where like you kick one zombie and a whole bunch of zombies just like fall along with it. So like you just have to be smart with it on how you use your bullets, how you use your knife, whether it's a fight or flight situation, and yeah, I would say that that's the biggest difference between those two games.
That's what's up. I mean, you mentioned that it's a fight or flight situation. Every situation would be a flight for me, so that's all I'm gonna say.
Can I do one quick question?
What up, now?
Because this one is something I thought of while I was listening. And because Resident Evil 4's backstory is basically took Horde to the action. Do you think this is more action or horror based for this one? Does it feel more actiony or horror for you, like scary?
It's a good combination of both. Cause even in the Resident Evil 2 remake, and
Yeah.
if you played the Resident Evil 3 remake, which the Resident Evil 3 remake didn't really get that many good reviews because of how short the game was, but in that game it did focus on the horror aspect too, because you're playing with Jill, and then the nemesis is chasing after you, and it could just pop up anywhere in the town. It can bust through walls and stuff like that. It can give you jump scares and stuff. With Resident Evil 4, and I like how they did it because in the original game, when you first are traversing through the woods, it wasn't really that scary. You're just you're walking through the woods and everything like that. But with this one, I like what they did, and it's great too. Is that they really made it scary walking through those woods. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though it's the beginning of the game, uh, the way that they made it feel, and the way that they structured it is, you're walking slow through the woods, like you don't know if anything might come out. You see animal carcasses and barbed wire and stuff like that. So it's just like it. They bring a good aspect of of terror inside this game, and I think it's going to be a good balance with action too, because as everybody knows that did play the original Resident Evil, it was like kind of like that introduction to like an action based type game. Uh, you know, Leon's doing a whole bunch of heroics and one liners and everything like that, everything a hero does, which is still they preserved that in this remake. So that's also a great thing that they did. Um, I would tell you some more stuff that they have in the game. Like there's this house region that you go in the game, but I want y'all to experience that for yourselves. Uh, and it's good.
When he says he wants to experience it for yourselves, he's talking to you two. Just make sure that's clear. That is extremely clear. Just make sure that is clear.
Content. Why don't you come on the show with us?
You can come play.
Content.
I want you to
Play
spare
with us, Malachi.
No,
Play with us.
no,
Yeah, I got this.
if y'all can get enough likes or whatever, emotes or whatever, Malachi has to play this game.
You know what? I'll take you on that one. If we get over 100 views on this particular podcast, then yes, I will play the game. I got you. It has to be 100. Has to be 100.
Handball. Let's start making accounts.
and it could be on YouTube, Twitch. It could be on whatever. It could be even be combined. But if you guys get 100 views on any social media platform on this particular stream, I got you. I will play the demo of Resident Evil. I'll play the demo.
I remember this guy playing the demo for Silent Hill, which I'm with Nine Ball pissed that they didn't make it.
Oh, you talking about PT?
Yeah.
Like when you played that demo, you lasted like barely 10 seconds in that game before you noped out of it. You're like, no.
That is a full lie. I made it to the door, and that was it.
Okay, so I gave you 5 more seconds to be kind. I'm sorry.
So yeah.
He literally he was in, door happened, he was like, no.
I opened the door, the hallway looked a little daunting, and then my mistake was staying there and listening to the radio. Because there was I stayed there, I listened to the full story, and there was still more. I was like, get away from me, Satan. This ain't happening. Not in this house.
My Christian Minecraft server.
Exactly. I'm going to go and share my screen because it's going to take you guys on over to the next story that I want to talk about. So you guys should be able to see this here. Let me know when you guys can see it.
Yeah, I see it.
All right, cool. So for our people that's watching right now, I'm going to go and enhance it, and then there we go. You guys can hear it?
Yeah, we hear it.
All right, cool. Endless loadouts. There we go. So a little bit that we're going to talk about this game now real quick. We're going to move this out the way for a second. Bam, bam. Oh, hold on.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, just a little bit. All right. There we go. So I'm going to let that loop around as I read this article real fast for you guys, and I'll stop sharing my screen. Actually, no, I'll keep sharing. I'll keep sharing, so that way you guys can see what's up. Hold on. It's doing this little thing again. There we go. Cool. All right, we in there. And that is still pinned to the top. Cool. All right, cool. So, George Young from GameSpot says this is an article. Developer Heart Machine and publisher Gearbox have announced the Hyperlight Breakers early access period on Steam has been delayed to later this year in the fall. It was previously set to launch this spring. A new gameplay trailer was revealed showcasing the roguelite's features, including infinite open worlds and endless amounts of weapons to wield. Hyperlight Breaker is a 3D action-adventure game set in the world of Overgrowth, where players are tasked with overthrowing the Abyss King. The game can be played either single player or cooperatively. So, looking at this, who wants to comment first about this game that they just saw?
You go ahead.
If you're promising unlimited deaths, these bosses better be able to kick my ass as soon as I walk in the door.
Well, there's unlimited deaths. It says unlimited open world, so very what's it called? No Man's Sky-ish. And endless weapons. So that's reminds me of Borderlands.
So the endless weapons thing.
Yeah.
That one, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I understand Borderlands endless weapon thing, but like, there's a point where it's like it can get kind of like, a little too repetitive. So you gotta be careful about it. Like, you better have like a good amount of trees and everything, and a good amount of different weaponry. From what it looks like, there was like swords, hammers, guns, and all. Like, so you're gonna need to go between machine guns, probably light machine guns, pistols, and stuff like that. Like, and you're gonna have to have like a good, like, really good differential between them. And like, if you're gonna do that, I'm pretty sure they're probably gonna put element affinities and other damage modifiers and stuff on these guns that are gonna be randomized off of the list that whatever they've got in there. The open world thing with is, I like the ideas of open worlds. I love a good open world game, but there are times where sometimes I feel like it's not done right, or it's like still kind of lacking and needs to be fixed. So I'm also kind of curious if this game's going to come out straight away, or if it's on Steam, it's probably going to come out early access, to be completely honest, is what it feels like to me. Combat-wise, looks really good, interesting. They have at least different cast of characters that they showed you there at the beginning. Looks like you got a couple of good choices, and I think looked like you can kind of customize your character. I don't know the depth of that, so they're going to have to show more, because the only difference I saw was like a couple of different hairstyles, it looked like. And then like literally, like I need to kind of like know a story, because to be honest, like without a story, I was kind of just getting like a little bit of at least to me, like a Craftopia vibe, where it's just like you go around and just start beating up bosses and just raiding fields and dungeons and stuff, just getting materials or whatnot for just building guns and everything. So it'd be interesting to see what the story is, or is this just like a dungeon crawler,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I will say gameplay looked interesting to me. The thing that grabbed me is the fact that it was multiplayer. You guys already know I'm a sucker for good campaign, cooperative style video games like that. But
we don't know if this has a campaign yet or not. They didn't
yeah,
say.
well, you can at least traverse together as a unit, and it looks like it'll be together. It's not like again, this is all speculation, but it didn't look like it was going to have to be, I had to summon someone into my world, and then after that, then they're gone. It looks like it has more of the No Man's Sky feel to it, to where you are able just to kind of literally travel together as a unit, as a group, and fight these monsters by shooting guns, swinging your swords, whatever the case is. Looks very interesting to me. I know one thing that would help it, at least for us to have a better grasp on it, is if we went back and played Hyper Light Drifter. Because I've heard great things about that game, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it has a very Bloodborne, Demon Souls style of storytelling, to where it doesn't really tell you the story. You have to kind of go search for it, which that's a turnoff for me. But the gameplay itself in general still looks pretty fun.
Bloodborne and Demon Souls, they did kind of tell you like where the major bosses are and all. So you do have that. It's just like a lot of times with Demon Souls and everything is that what they wanted you to do is really get the lore of the world. It's a very lore-rich world and very lore-rich setting, especially with Bloodborne. So a lot of the bosses have elements in there that tie into a lot of the upper, like so. Like sometimes it could be considered a sub-boss, ties into like a lot of the heavier bosses. Now, yes, it's not like a very bright, point of like, here's your waypoint, go fight this boss now. Level up, go to fight boss number 2. Congratulations, you're halfway through the game. No, it's not like that. So it does require some exploration. If they've got that in there, with that point of story, that's okay. I'm okay with that. I understand. For you, it's like, it's not as cut and dry, but that's good though. Then that they would have that story because like the trailer doesn't make it seem like they've got a story mode. It's just like you've got dungeon bosses and that's it. So.
And again, that's me speaking off of what I know about Hyperlight Drifter, which this one looks like it's going to be the next entry to that, which is Hyperlight Breaker. So it looks interesting to me, and and the gameplay looks fun, even if it's just like in there for a couple hours, just tearing stuff up with you guys.
This one looks scary to me, and not really the game. The trailer looked okay. I mean, but really, just action trailers don't attract me anymore because I've been burnt a couple times. But the scary part to me is the publisher. Anybody that knows Gearbox Software.
Yeah, I think Machine Heart's taking lead though, but I get you.
Gearbox, the makers of Duke Nukem Forever,
Oh man,
the makers of Aliens Colonial Marines,
okay, that one though I kind of liked.
and let's hit the last one, Battleborn.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Who remembers Battleborn?
I should have forgot about that. That is crazy.
They've kind of got a bad rep for almost any game that's not, if it's not a, what is that, Borderlands game, it's usually not really good from them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm willing to give this one a okay shot, but I don't know. I want to see more. That's all I'm gonna say. Just right now, just that trailer. I've seen a lot of trailers which look good. It's just that publisher. And Randy Pitchfork. It's one of those things where some publishers I can trust more than others over the eon. I've learned to trust more, but some you got to take a step back and see who's in the kitchen before you order your food. And sometimes with Randy, and I mean, they have, I guess, did some good work. I'm looking up also Heart Machine. They did Solar Ash.
Yeah.
Hyperlight Drifter, the Annapurna Collection, and I don't know what that is.
They've also got Homeworld.
Yeah. Yeah, but they got a couple good ones, but I mean, it reminds me in a way with the animation sort of spell breakish in its animation in some ways,
mm-hmm.
and how it looks. And out of all the games to bring up, you had to bring up, it's got a No Man's Sky feel. You remember how that game launched, right?
Oh yeah, it launched terribly, but I'm just saying, like, where it's at now is where it has the.
I know, I played a mess out of some No Man's Sky.
Oh yeah,
that is my outside of house flipper. That's one of my relaxing games.
I mean, there's no fighting in that besides the occasional dogfight in space. Like,
yeah, dogfight. You can also, you can raid ships like Dead Space and stuff. There's derelict freighters. You'll go get like a mission. You can go like derelict freighters. You can go bounty hunting. There is like when you go into like the anomaly and the nexus point, you can team up with your people and go and like fight pirates and stuff, or go collect things for extra rewards for your planet, for your ships and stuff.
I knew about the dogfights. I didn't know about the other stuff. I mean, I've just gotten far enough in there.
That's a lot.
Shaolinquis, for you, what are your thoughts about this game? What did this do for you when you checked it out?
At first glance, it looks good. At first glance, when it said unlimited deaths,
that's what got you.
Yeah, it got me too. It got me thinking because if it's unlimited that just means that it's gonna be a kind of like a challenging game. It kind of got me thinking like kind of like a Elden Ring, maybe the Souls type games. To which, to be honest with you guys, I'm not really much of a fan of the Souls games like those, because I'll play them, but I just know myself, and I will rage at a Souls boss. Like, so I just choose not to, because I love saving my money on these, So I just I just watch YouTube videos and see other people rage and laugh and stuff like that. But uh, just, but about this game, it's just um I like the customization options. I like the traversal. The combat and gameplay looks pretty good. I don't really know that much about the developer, so I'm gonna just put my trust in you guys and what you say.
It's not,
Because
no, it's just me. It's just me.
yeah,
It's,
so
I've been burned a couple of times by them. I'm like,
yeah, trust me, I've had my fair share of burns.
Third degree.
10th degree.
I would have said that's impossible until you mentioned Marvel Avengers.
Oh man, that got me down to the bone marrow.
There's no flesh left.
Right. So, I mean, with this game, it looks like it has promise, but I would just have to see more, because uh like No Man's Sky, No Man's Sky, when it first came out, it had a lot of promise when you looked at it, but then when it came out, it wasn't really as it seemed like in the trailers.
Mhm.
So like I think what's good about this game, if uh it said that it was going to have a beta, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I feel like now, did No Man's Sky have a beta? Does anybody
I,
remember?
I don't I don't I
No,
don't think it
no,
did.
it did not. No, it did not.
Okay, so with this game, I think that the advantage it has is that it has a beta, and with betas, we know that once we play the beta, and once the beta ends, like, you could give your input on things that they can improve, things that they can work on, and I think that with this game having a beta, that gives it the advantage. Um, to let people play it, let people test it out, um, let people know, like, hey, what can we improve, what can we fix on, what works, what doesn't work. So if this game, you know, uh, lives up to its, like, not lives up to its potential, but if this game, you know, comes out strong with the beta, to which I feel like it is a little bit. Again, I'm not gonna just put all my faith just into the beta, because you don't want to do that. You just want to see what works, what doesn't work, and stuff like that. But from what I saw with the trailer, well, and also trailers can be deceptive too. But I'm just throw that out there,
Mhm.
because you know Marvel's Avengers, that looked great trailer wise, and then we saw what happened with that. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, but if I'm just judging from the trailer, it looks good. It looks great. Um, it kind of gave me a little bit of Souls wise, but like with more better traversal. And the combat looks okay. I want to see what more he can do, if he can shoot bow and arrows, or if you have like different combat styles and stuff like that. So this game has a lot of promise, and I want to see where it goes.
Yep. I'm going to I'm going to read story number 4, but I really want to discuss story number 5 since we're about to wrap it up on time, and I know that you have things to talk about for story number 5. So story number 4 is Switch 2, yes or no? Eddie Makuch from GameSpot says in the article. The Nintendo Switch is now on its 7th year, and the system continues to put out big sale numbers. That being said, people always want to know what's next. Nintendo marketing executive Doug Bowser, real name, told the AP that he has, quote, nothing to announce, end quote, about the next Nintendo hardware. But overall, the company feels very bullish about the current model. We're entering uncharted territory with the platform. It's exciting to see that the demand is still there, Bowser said. The Switch has proven to be popular so long into its life cycle, in part because it is genuinely a unique device with the ability to be used at home or on the go, Bowser said. Nintendo will inevitably release another console one day. While we don't know what it'll be just yet, Bowser said that it will be to be a surprise and delight customers. How can we introduce a new, unique way of playing? That's always the front of our minds, Bowser said. The Switch has sold 122.5 million units as of December 31st, 2022. It is now the third best-selling console of all time. Nintendo just recently released a new Switch bundle to celebrate Mario Day. There have been ongoing rumors that of a new, more powerful Switch console with the Switch Pro, but those reports never materialized into a real product. A next-gen Nintendo console will launch late 2024, according to one research firm, but this might not be anything beyond pure speculation. So for anyone that is out there, if you guys are curious about your Nintendo Switch upgrades and hopefully can get something that will be a little bit more powerful as you can have it on the go, you might have to wait a little bit longer. We'll have to kind of see. But story number 5, Suicide Squad delays. So Zach Zweisen from Kotaku says this in the article. Come back, Shaolin. Come back. Suicide Squad killed the
dead. He killed him.
Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. The upcoming online co-op action shooter from Rocksteady has reportedly been delayed from its planned May release to sometime later this year. This follows last month's release of a new gameplay footage being met with a flood of negative reactions from fans and critics alike. First revealed way back in August 2020, Rocksteady's Suicide Squad game stars popular DC villains like Harley Quinn and Captain Boomerang, and is based on the long-running series of comics about the villains being recruited by the government agent Amanda Waller to take on the wildly dangerous threats and to complete the ethically dubious missions. It's also connected to the Arkham games, unlike last year's DC co-op flop, Gotham Knights. But if you were excited to play Rocksteady's next big game, you'll reportedly have to wait a little longer. End quote. End story. Take the reins, Shaolinquis.
All right. This is gonna be kind of a rant. A little bit. So, this game, man. First of all, Rocksteady. Rocksteady is a well-known company that made the Arkham games. You know, Arkham, Batman, Arkham City, Arkham Asylum, Arkham Knight, and games. Every single time you played it, one after another, the gameplay was just it really captured the essence of Batman. You know what I'm saying? His universe, the lore, how you play as him, and everything like that. Even in City and Night, how you get to play as you get to play as Robin, you get to play as Nightwing, Catwoman, Batgirl, Red Hood, and everything like that. And Rocksteady really kept it. They knew what they were doing with the IP that they were given with Batman. So now moving on to Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Here's the problems that I have with this game. So, in no particular order, I'm gonna just go. I'm gonna just go off. Yeah. So, first off, the Suicide Squad. Now, I understand that the Suicide Squad has had 2 movies. One which was not really that well received, the first Suicide Squad movie, and then you had the Suicide Squad movie with James Gunn that did okay, but it wasn't really that money maker, that DC was looking to make. you have James Gunn that wants everything to be, a ragtag group of, you know, of characters and stuff like that. Some characters you don't know, obscure characters, and then, tries to prop them up and everything like that. So with Warner Brothers wanting to make a Suicide Squad game just based off those two movies, I can understand that. But when you have characters like the Justice League, characters that people have been waiting to play on games for forever, especially characters made by Rocksteady, and Rocksteady knows how to handle superheroes. Uh, Example, Batman. You know, so not only are we not playing with the Justice League, but you have us playing with Suicide Squad, to which people, don't really even, care about. Like the only person a part of that squad that made that people honestly like really know is Harley Quinn, and then to, and then to not only have to play as the Suicide Squad. You're not even playing like you're just playing with the Gun Squad, because you have Captain Boomerang that doesn't really you know use boomerangs. Like he uses a gun, so he's Captain Gun. And then you have King Shark, and King Shark. King Shark can use guns, but King Shark doesn't really use guns all like that. So it's just like you're playing with Captain Boomerang, but all right, what we're gonna do, customize his boomerang, customize his guns. You know what I'm saying? And then again, like you have the Justice League. You have the Justice League. Like, who doesn't want to play a multiplayer game that you could play? Like, somebody could be a tank and be Superman. Somebody can be the Flash and scout and do all types of stuff. Somebody could be Batman. Somebody could be Green Green Lantern. Somebody can be Wonder Woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a greater possibility of playing the Justice League characters than playing with the Suicide Squad. But you're not even playing those characters specifically to the T. You're playing the Suicide Squad with guns. And then just to be an insult to play in Metropolis, that's the setting of this game, and you can't even play with Superman. Instead of, now you have to you have to kill him, in his city. So it's just a slap in the face to people that want to play these heroes and finally get to see what Rocksteady can do with these heroes, and then and it's a slap in the face to not be able to play as them. And then it's getting old to where it's just like, all right, we have evil Superman, we have evil heroes. Uh, Brainiac has these heroes under control, and you have to stop them and kill them and stuff like that. Like, a lot of people are tired of that. Like, a lot of people want to play as these heroes, like, just traverse as these heroes. Like, who doesn't want to run as the Flash at top speed throughout the city? Who doesn't want to fly as Superman? Who doesn't want to go out into space with Green Lantern and stuff like that? Like just talking about it, there's just so many possibilities that Rocksteady. I don't think Rocksteady did justice. Like, no pun intended, but just did justice. Like, thinking about this game. And also, this is Kevin Conroy's last performance as the Batman, and to have him do this glorious performance that he's done so well over the years, and rest in having Kevin Conroy, but to have to kill Batman, what I'm saying, that just doesn't sit right with me. Uh, to take it off the character aspect now, just focus it on the game. This is a live service game, and we all know what happened with recently, like with live service games. Nobody really likes the live service because look at Marvel's Avengers, a whole bunch of bugs, a whole bunch of promises, and everything like that. People are really getting sick of live service games. Plus at a top bill of $70 for a live service game, and people are just getting so sick of that. and on top of that, it's a battle pass. Nobody like you know they wanted, and I don't think it was much so sort of Rocksteady's fault. I think Warner Brothers kind of got their hands in a cookie jar with the making of this game, to which the two co-founders of Rocksteady um, left the company. So that's also a telltale sign of kind of what was going on behind the scenes as well. If you like kind of like look into that, so I just think that uh, Warner Brothers and whoever's like took in charge of Rocksteady, they just got their hands in the pot of like making this game and tried to make it something that you know fans of these DC heroes that they don't care about. They don't want a battle pass. They don't want a live service where you got to be online all the time just to play the game. Like they just want to play a game that's well represented of these heroes. And I think that this game just does a disservice, and I hope that them taking the time to delay this. I mean, even though it's gonna kill me in the fantasy, but I mean, oh well. But hopefully with this delay, hopefully they actually take the time and like fix this game. Whether it's fixing it to where like you don't have to play online all the time, fixing it to where you get to play as certain characters, or taking away certain aspects of the game that they know fans aren't gonna like. Because if you look at every single trailer, every single video on it on YouTube, there's a lot of downvotes. There's a bunch of downvotes for that game. Not everybody likes it. From people saying it looks Fortnite-y. Again, the characters aren't. You have Captain Boomerang, having flash powers and wielding a gun. You know what I'm saying? Like it. I feel like this game just tries to do too much. You know what I'm saying? Especially for an IP that's not really, that people really don't care about. Like, again, in my personal opinion, I think like the major draw of this game is the Justice League, to which you can't play as them. Like, you have to kill them. So I mean, I digress. It is what it is.
I actually got something to say.
Man, this game, man, this game.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
man.
not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure if they're like. No, I partially agree with you. Actually, when I say partially, I'm not saying 50-50. I'm saying more like 90-10. Like 90% I agree with you. 10% of it, I'm on the opposite.
Okay.
But what it like, I do think that you need to make these characters different. They can't all just be a skin and then they just shoot and that's it. I think that Captain Boomerang should use his boomerang primarily for stuff. I do think that they should have a mechanic to where King Shark, he's just going in there with his fists, like Hulk style, versus like, even if you have to give him an ability that can like close the gap between characters, let that be the case. Don't have it to where it's just him shooting a gun the whole time, because they all don't have any personality to them. Even when it comes down to the voice acting, some of the jokes that's landing are like, we've heard jokes like that before. Like if someone gets hit, then Captain Boomerang's like, oh, that's gonna leave a mark. All right, you know what I mean? Like, you've heard that so many times growing up. They're just like, okay, be original. You're not being original now. You know what I mean? So just small things like that. So no, I definitely agree with you on that. With that being said, I don't think the fix that the delay is going to fix really any of that. The only thing I can see them do, because I just don't think they're going to include the Justice League as playable characters at all in this game. I don't think that that any of the voice acting is going to change, because that's going to be extra time, extra money for them, and everything like that. I think that what the story that we have set is what's going to be. I think the one thing that they can fix is maybe switching up the move sets so that way each character feels different. So that's one thing that I think that they could do. Maybe even switch it to where you don't have to play online all the time.
Yeah.
The live service aspect, I don't necessarily have an issue with if they do it right. Because again, like as far as the three of us over here on the ALWT gaming side, we've been pretty hip the Smite for the longest time, and that's a live service model. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, granted, we have our qualms with it because of the balancing. That's the biggest issue that we have with it is the balancing. But that has nothing to do with the live service aspects of it. If you wanted to have certain cosmetics and certain, they even had it one where there was like almost like a dungeon crawler style of the game. And we just lost Shaolinquis.
No, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Okay.
Lost his visual.
There we go. Okay. Yes.
He had to turn the camera off for a moment. He didn't want you to see his look of disappointment. Man.
Yeah, I cried in 1 millisecond, guys.
I got actually a bit to say about this. Like, some things I agree with you on, and my problem is basically this. It's not that they're fighting the Justice League, because I feel like the Justice League, it's okay, I guess. They don't have to necessarily kill them. They just probably have to incapacitate them. Because they're using kind of the Injustice storyline to where Superman turns evil. But my problem is basically, if anybody knows the Suicide Squad, because there's been like, how many? 3, 4 movies with the Suicide Squad?
There's been 2.
Two.
So you have Suicide Squad,
there's a lot
Suicide
of comments
Squad,
out for it.
Hell to Pay, the Suicide Squad, a lot of cartoon movies with them. The Suicide Squad has had a massive group of people. They even had like Killer Frost that's been in there, Zod. Somehow they got Zod and put him in the Suicide Squad. They had a huge roster to go with, but I feel like they're trying to piggyback off the success of the shows or the series. So like the main two from the original, you gotta think about it, the main two from the original, Deadshot and Harley Quinn are both in there. The newer one, you had King Shark. And even though they threw in Captain Boomerang, I feel like for me they could have did a bit more with them. I mean, having unique characters, I do like that angle of taking a different story. That's what interested me in Gotham Knights till I actually started hearing a bunch of stuff about it. Was that you got a Gotham game and it's not Batman. Not every show has to have Batman or somebody in it. It's just my big problem is basically the issue is with, I guess, the characters themselves in a lot of ways. I mean, you have in almost every show, Harley Quinn basically became almost the face of DC at this point in a lot of ways.
Yeah, they try to make Harley like DC's version of Deadpool.
Mm.
Yeah,
exactly. Yes.
Yep.
So which you can't do that because Harley Quinn, and that's another problem. This is not necessarily a problem like with the game. This is a character problem that DC Comics as a whole has. Like they try to take Harley Quinn and make her something that she wasn't originally supposed to be, and then they see a slight popularity like in a movie or something like that, so they take that character and then they see the movie success and they see how the character acts in the movie. So then what they'll do is, and you'll see this in like if you pay attention to like comics and stuff like that, so like they'll take a movie and they'll try to integrate that movie into the comic. You know what I'm saying? And the movie is different from the original comic, but since that movie did so well, they'll try to take that movie and try to take that the personality and even the character looks and put it into the comic run ongoing. And now you see Harley Quinn having her own show. Now you see Harley Quinn,
that's like the equivalent of trying to make Robin like the next face of the Justice League.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a comic called Dark Crisis that recently just passed, to where you had Nightwing, kind of like taking charge, but that works because Nightwing is a legacy character. Like that's a legacy character. Just like how Wally West is a legacy character. You can have him take the mantle from Barry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you can have him be a Flash. As in Harley Quinn, she like she
kind of is her own thing now because
yeah
Harley
she's
Quinn is like
yeah
completely off from the Joker.
yeah like Harley Quinn. You know her as the Joker's like sidekick. But now they just have her to where she has her own series. They have her to where she had, it's just crazy, to where like at this point DC's doing a whole bunch of side stuff with their characters, and they're losing essence of what the characters really are.
You know what I would have wanted to see, which would have been kind of cool, and this character's been getting a lot of attention in the DC universe, is maybe have him up against the Batman Who Laughs.
That could, I mean, but even with that, there's so much that has to be done.
Yeah,
In order to get into like the death metal scene.
oh my god, dude! I have like I think the ones I read was the Red Death, the Drowned. Which one? Which one was the evil Batman with the Green Lantern ring that was killing people with the ring? The
I forgot.
Dawnbreaker.
Dawnbreaker Batman. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing, even with the death metal series, like it's so Batman heavy centric, to where it's just like, I mean, even in today, like we DC is so heavy on Batman. Of course, Batman is the moneymaker
Yes.
in DC, but at the same time, like you also need other characters to shine in that too, because death metal is a like kind of like a two-parter. Yeah, like part one, you have a certain set of characters, and then part two, you also have to introduce, some other characters. Like Wally West is a big part of the second part of death metal. Uh, Wonder Woman is a big part of the second, part of death metal. So and a whole bunch of other characters are too. So they have to, if they want to do that and bring in the Batman Who Laughs and stuff like that, they have to make sure that their
Yeah.
universe is well connected and well rounded to where you can bring in somebody like the Batman Who Laughs in
Yeah, that's
the
true. I
universe.
mean, I would like to see it. I thought his backstory was kind of cool.
Yeah,
He's a very
yeah. Trust me, a Bruce Wayne that has the powers of the Flash. Trust me,
the
that
Red Death, dude. That was
Red
smart.
Death is-
I actually read that one, dude. That was pure genius how he beat the Flash. I was like, I never
dude.
thought about
Man.
doing that, man.
Yeah, Cameron. Cameron wouldn't like the fact that the Flash dies, but yeah, Red Death is pretty cool. Red Death is pretty cool.
Red Death can go to death. No, I'm just kidding.
But I'm gonna try to bring it back. But this game, the problem with it, another huge problem I'm seeing, is how is it going to differentiate itself?
It's not. That's the problem.
Like I said before, giving each character, I'm trying to think of the game. Was it like X-Men Legends or something, and you had like a bunch of different characters?
Yeah, it was like top down.
So your X-Men Legends, you had 3 characters you could choose from, and then you could give them one of 3 power sets.
Oh, it was something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like you got like 3 characters you could choose from, 3 different starts, but you have 3 different powers that you could assign to them, and then they pretty much just go through, and then you have choice plots between where it's you either go with forgot what Magneto's group was, the Brotherhood or something, with his group, or with the X.
I don't think it was that game. Then it was another. I can't remember the name of it.
Not talking about Ultimate Alliance, right?
No.
Okay.
But I digress. It's not important. But anyways, one thing Shaolinquis says, and I agree 100% with. You need differentiating factors with each character. I feel like you said, Shark needs to be in the front of fights and have abilities that mirror that. Like a normal tank, a ability to shrug off damage, maybe gain extra armor or extra healing in the middle of combat. I mean, even heck, I'm gonna go real far back. Even a long time ago, even when I used to play Unreal Championships on the OG Xbox, they had different abilities. Like I used to play, what was that, Harley Quinn? No, not, I think it was Harley Quinn. But they had an ability to where whenever you dealt damage, you healed for that amount of damage. It sounds busted, but they didn't have a lot of armor, unlike the tanks, which move real slow. But oh my god, it took like 3 headshots to drop them. They were absolutely beastly to stop. And I feel like they need that kind of an RPG-esque element. And it is, like I said, the amount of characters that's been in there, they could have went with so many choices. I mean, like I said, you had Killer Frost has been in there. Yeah, I think Poison Ivy's been in there.
Crocodile.
Yep. Zod's been in there. You've had list upon list of people underneath Amanda Waller.
Well,
and I feel like they could have picked any of them, gave them unique power sets, and maybe even change a villain or two. Like, I'm still interested to see where this goes, but my interest overall has been slowly diminishing in it. And it's sad to say, because when I first seen it, I said, oh, this might be interesting. Playing as a villain, I do like a different perspective of things, but the more you're looking at it, you're like, do I really want to? And now they're doing more polishing again. This is turning into, you know what happens when games get stuck in purgatory. 2 games come to mind. Duke Nukem Forever, like I said earlier, and Cyberpunk 2077. And you remember how both those launched? The longer a game's delayed, usually it's not a good thing. It's a bad thing sometimes. Right. So while I'm hoping the best, and maybe they might shock us, because I did read a story a long time ago about Michael Keaton as Batman. It was interesting because they said when they initially put him as Batman, nobody thought they thought he was going to be a pathetic Batman, because he had only really played in comedies back then.
Right.
And everybody was harping on him how bad he is, and he didn't really respond to none. And then now he's basically considered one of the greatest people to ever don the bat suit.
Yeah.
Right.
So maybe we'll get one of those. I'm gonna hope for the best, but that next trailer better be pure fire. My room better be on. I better be calling the fire department.
Yeah.
I'm going to get an extinguisher or something, because
real.
I feel that. So I'm not going to really read the other ones, but I want to tell you guys about some fun ones that I was able to pick for the story. What up?
Just skip over me, bro.
Go ahead.
No, I don't want to anymore. No, you're done with me.
All right, so going on over to the fun one.
Oh my gosh, this guy.
So out there, we do have Meet Your Maker, which is coming to PlayStation on day 1. That was one thing that was mentioned. Stephen Petit from GameSpot, if you guys want to take a look at that. New Tekken 8 trailer, which is not really a trailer. Oh, wait, it's a new trailer, but it's featuring what martial law can do inside the game. So Darren Bunkis from GameSpot says this in our article on that. So you guys can check that out. There was a PS5 update that Marcus Stewart had talked about on Game Informer. That happened last week. Me and Mildewy had the privilege of testing it out a little bit. Because part of that was them bringing the Discord to PS5. So very interesting stuff there. And then
really quick, how was it? I'm sorry, how was it?
No, you're good. So what it was is that I actually tested this out twice, because I tested out with the PS5, and though there's a little bit of a headache to get to the point where I can do it, it's still a feature that is good. It's great, I would even say. However, Xbox does it way better, because on Xbox, if you're logged in, and you link your Discord to your Xbox, there's a tab for that on Xbox, and you can just in your list is you can just log into your groups how Discord is, just like how it normally set up on the PC. On PlayStation, you after you link it together, you have to, on your phone or on a PC, enter the group that you want to go into. And then there's a button that says connect to your PS5. Then when you connect to your PS5, then you can go to your PS5 and be in that chat. And then, so it's literally kind of transferring your voice to your PS5. So essentially that means that you can't manage your actual Discord features from your PS5. You still have to do it through your PC and your
kind of defeats
or
the
your phone.
purpose of not having a
Yes and no, because what that does, like, I still would choose this method over game chat any day of the week. Because then you're in the, like, even though I'm on my dashboard, I don't have to be in a game. If I'm on my dashboard of the PS5 and I connect my voice to my Discord, I'm still in the chat, like, as if I'm just on the PlayStation chat.
Okay.
So
that means
sounds like you need to have like 2 systems up and running though, just to be able to monitor it.
Yeah, if you wanted to monitor it, but if you think about it, the whole because I thought about this a little bit more in depth. If you think about it, the whole purpose of why you're playing on, like, doing the Discord chat on PS5 is because likely you're playing with someone on PC. So you don't have to manage by inviting people to come into your game, because that's what the PC person can do.
I remember that Final Fantasy 14 where I had to have my PlayStation 5 on. I'm talking to you on PlayStation 5 while you're playing on PlayStation.
Yeah, and that was one thing I had mentioned too. We don't have to worry about that anymore. So next time if we ever jump on 14 together again, you could just be on
14,
Discord. Yeah, you could be on Discord on your PC. I'll just transfer my voice to the PS5, and we're in there the whole time.
Yeah.
My concern with that is though, and because I've had this when I was on the Switch, because that's everyone knows it. If you don't, well, here's the news for you. Switch doesn't have game chat voice, access.
Oh my God!
I know, surprising, shocking.
I'm gonna have to fax him about that.
So me and my friend, when we were playing Rise, we would do Discord. But the problem is if your device goes to sleep, Discord's going to cut the call off, or after a certain amount of time, it cuts the call off. It's weird. I don't know why, but it was doing that. So my concern with that is just if you go an X amount of time without touching a PC or without touching a phone to the tablet, whatever you're using to connect in, is it going to cut you off, and is it going to shut down the chat? Like, is it going to disconnect you from the chat even though you're on the 5 and the 5 is active?
No, it's not. It doesn't do that, because it's going to treat it like how we are doing this stream right now.
That's just my only concern, is just because like it's just that weird, that the fact that they're transferring the access from one to the other, I wasn't sure if it stayed access on the original device, if it's like a tie-in point, like your 5 connects into the mobile, desktop, whatever you're using, and then it goes into the Discord.
Yeah. This is not. I know exactly what you're talking about, because I had that same issue whenever I use Discord on my phone. I don't have that issue when I use the PlayStation app, like if I'm in the PlayStation app chat. But but when I use Discord, if it's like that for a while, then it's just like, unless I'm reaching over every 40 minutes and like jiggling it or whatever, but that's not the issue with the PlayStation transfer. That one is fine, because I tested that too.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure.
And there's other things that was included for the PlayStation 5 update, which is introducing 1440p, variable refresh rates improvements, all that good stuff. And then the last little fun one out there is the DB. I call it DB super exciting. Truman 2 from Game Rant. And it's talking about how Orange Piccolo is going to come to Xenoverse 2, which, if you guys watch the Dragon Ball superhero movie, absolutely fantastic. That is a little bit of a spoiler, so if you guys, but at the same time, you guys had at least almost a full year now at this point to watch it, so that's on you if this is spoiled. But I do hope that there's a couple of the characters that's in the series, that's in that movie, that they bring over if they haven't brought them over already. So those I won't spoil for you, but we shall see. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our All Things Gaming episode 8 of season 3, 2023, on a beautiful March 14th, which is also a pretty cold March 14th. I think we had a great day a couple days ago.
Day after tomorrow. I'm sorry.
But what I do want to do is I want to take it back on over to Shaolinquis. Thanks again, man, for tuning in with us and special guesting with us. One more time, where can people find you? Where if anyone wanted to follow you on social media or follow your work, or even just in general, just know how.
I'm lost. I need to find you.
How do you do it?
How can we stalk you, Shally? How can we stalk you?
Hey man, you can stalk me, you can talk to me, you can watch me, you can listen to me. Twitch, Shaolinquis. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, both with the same handle, Shaolinquis. have my YouTube Shaolinquis as well. Everything is just Shaolinquis, so there's no confusion or whatnot. Uh, Again, Malachi said it earlier. We'll be streaming Thursday. We're gonna be back on Back for Blood. So a lot more fun with that. Look forward to
Yeah, fun is what we'll call it. That's what we'll call it.
We'll have a lot of destruction.
That's the max of his horror genre will go.
Yep. So yeah, my Creed 3 review is coming. My Resident Evil 4 remake playthrough is coming. Yeah, I just have a lot planned. A lot of I'm gonna get on my manga reviews. I'm gonna get on my anime reviews and stuff like that, and comic reviews. So everything is coming. Everything is coming. Just be patient, you guys. Just be patient. All right, I'm just getting started.
Yeah. Make sure you guys are following him again. Get this guy affiliate. We want to have him start making some money. www.twitch.tv/Shaolinquis SHAOLINQUIS. Yep, as he poses for you. If you guys are Anchor listeners or Spotify listeners, make sure again you guys are checking him out. Again, www.twitch.tv/SHAOLINQUIS. Shaolinquis.
I need a pen.
And then also don't forget that this Thursday we are planning on doing at least a little bit of Exo Primal before the Back for Blood. So we're going to be testing out. It's a 2-day beta, so we'll be testing out. Maybe we'll get through the whole beta in that day. We'll see. But make sure you guys are checking us out at ALWT Gaming, which is www.twitch.tv/ALWT Gaming. ALWT Gaming stands for At Least We Tried Gaming, because at least we tried. Until next time, everybody, we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Control Alt
Complete.
Baseums.